So the first big story, before we actually get to the cuts, big story, big story from Adam Schefter on Twitter, X. What's it called? I don't know what any of this is anymore. Okay, I'm not on X, Twitter. I'm not on it. Lions are moving cornerback Emmanuel Moseley off the physically unable to perform list, and he will now open the season on the active roster, eligible to play on opening day. This is huge. Emmanuel Moseley brought in on free agency. Obviously, he was coming off of an injury, so it was sort of a question mark, and it became a little concerning because every week they'd ask about Moseley. Oh, how's Moseley doing? And Coach Campbell, he was like, yeah, we don't really know how long it will be. We hope that it's not that long. And it's like, oh, please. We cannot afford to enter into this season up against Kansas City without a fully healthy starting defense, especially a fully healthy starting defense against Patrick Mahomes. Are you kidding me? And Emmanuel Moseley, hopefully, I would imagine, is going to be playing significant snaps in that game. Emmanuel Moseley, he's already got a resume in this league. He's a solid corner, and he's definitely going to be an upgrade from pretty much any of the corners we had last year. So definitely a huge boost. And on top of that as well, I didn't put it in the show notes, but Chris Jones, I believe is his name, Chris Jones, the D tackle for the Chiefs, he's put on the restricted list because they didn't figure out how to negotiate a contract with him. And that's another big story because that's a big piece on that Chiefs defense that is going to be out. So that's going to hopefully allow this Lions offense to be able to cook a little bit hotter than it otherwise would have been able to if he was on the field. So look at it this way, right? Our defense gets better with this, and their defense gets worse with that. Plain and simple. So that's the biggest thing out of this. The other thing to take from this is all of the cuts. So I'm going to list these off, and I will recognize most of these names. And I say most of them because I don't recognize all of them. But I can guarantee that most people will not recognize most of these names. And let's run it back. Okay. So, Lions, full, wave, cut, whatever. It depends on how long I guess I should explain the difference. So, players are waived if they're under 4 years of service time. Basically, that just means that they go through the list of teams, and teams can pick them up and, not have to pay, a lump sum for them. But they're not free agents. They just basically take on that contract. But sorry, I just saw Carson Kelly hit a double, and I was shocked. Honestly, that looked like that was not a double. But hey, I'll take it. But here we go. First, quarterback Adrian Martinez. We just talked about him a little bit. Running back Muhammad Ibrahim. Running back Devin Ozigbo. Running back Jermar Jefferson. Running back Craig Reynolds. Wow, that's a surprise. Some of these are new to me. Okay, so some of these are new. I didn't realize Craig Reynolds got cut. Wow, or waived. I don't know what the term. I'm gonna say cut. Maybe when it is actually waived. Just bear with me. Running back Benny Snell. Running back Trinity Benson. Wide receiver Avery Davis. Wide receiver Denzel Mims. Wide receiver Jason Moore. They recently just picked him up from the Chargers, and they just cut him. Okay, so they weren't very impressed. Wide receiver Trey Quinn. Wide receiver Chase Cota. Now that's another surprise. Wide receiver Dylan Drummond. Wide receiver Maurice Alexander. Maurice Alexander, of course, who had the punt return in the first week of preseason. Tight end Daniel Helm. Tight end Darrell Daniels. Guard Coyote Awosika. Apologize to Mr. Awosika. Connor Galvin. Tackle. Tackle Max Percher. Tackle Ryan Swoboda. Center Brad Cecil. O-line Obina Eze. Of course, from Hard Knocks. If anyone watched last year's Hard Knocks, they should be familiar with Obina Eze. O-line Bobby Hart. O-line Jermaine Ifidi. O-line Alex Mollett. O-line Darren Paulo. D-line Christian Covington. D-line Corey Durden. D-line Chris Smith. Linebacker Trevor Nowaski. Cornerback Colby Richardson. Cornerback Chase Lucas, who I mentioned earlier, and also was featured on Hard Knocks. Cornerback Starling Thomas V. Safety Scott Nelson. Safety Savion Smith. safety Brady Breeze, safety Brandon Joseph, and kicker John Parker Romo. So, of this list, I'd say the biggest surprises, I mean, definitely not Adrian Martinez. He showed me nothing in the preseason. Craig Reynolds, bit of a surprise. Been with the team for a while. I mean, he's not an amazing running back, but hey, he was a decent back in the preseason. He was a decent back for us in 2021, but team's just gotten deeper and there's not enough room for a backup running back at this point, especially of his caliber. The other one that's a little surprising, Chase Cota. Chase Cota, look, he didn't have a great final preseason game, but he was pretty much the main target for either Sudfeld or Bridgewater in the preseason. He showed some really nice flashes. I wouldn't be surprised if a team picks up Chase Cota because he seemed like a decent player. Same with Dylan Drummond. Had some nice flashes in the preseason, but again, the thing is, and Dan Campbell alluded to this, the team has just gotten better from a talent perspective that it just doesn't make any sense to keep some of these guys who might have some talent, who might have something, some use to a team that, maybe a team that's not that good, or maybe a team that's, down a wide receiver and they need to bring in someone that's capable of backup. I think it's potentially possible that you see some of these guys on practice squads or potentially on the bench for some teams. But we'll see. The other one that's a little surprising is Chase Lucas. Chase Lucas was a 7th-round pick last year, corner out of Illinois. I guess he just didn't impress enough. He had that interception last week in the preseason, which was a pretty exciting moment for him, but ultimately he just didn't really pan out, which is really, man, it's actually kind of sad because there was I believe a clip of, I think it was him. I'm almost certain it was him, where he was talking to the DB's coach, who actually is also fired since then. I don't even know who it was at the time. But he was talking to the DB's coach, and he was saying, this is in Hard Knocks, by the way. He was saying, like, oh man, this year I just feel it, man. I feel like I'm going to do something special, man. It's like, oh, well, not only were you wrong, you're also not on the team anymore. So, I don't mean to add insult to injury to poor Chase. Hopefully he finds a new home in the NFL. He showed flashes. That's all I can say. He showed some flashes. We'll see if it lasts, but I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if some of these guys end up on other teams' practice squads or end up on our own practice squad. But regardless, that was pretty much the big stuff to take away. As far as the Lions stuff, it just sets up, man, that preseason. Jeez, I'm like still in preseason mode when I should realize that, hey, actual football, real life football, believe it or not, is going to be starting here in just a week. I mean, college football starts in just a few days. Like, things are exciting in the world of football, and I'm looking forward to football as much as the next guy. Hey there, what you just watched was actually a clip from a larger show that we do every Tuesday night. What are you doing Tuesday night? Go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the like button so that you don't miss out on any more of our weekly shows every single Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hope to see you there.